My son, Michael Shlomo Oppenheim, was born a year ago. Dov Berish Oppenheim escaped the draft into the Polish army by pulling out his teeth one by one. At the same time in Palestine, Roni Aboulafia avoided the draft into the Turkish army and fled to Egypt, where he joined the British Mule Corps and fought at Gallipoli. He was wounded but insisted that others be treated before him. Colonel Peterson later remarked, "You're a sport, Aboulafia." To avoid his son's draft into the Polish army, Dov Oppenheim immigrates to Palestine in 1924 and builds a house at 32 Shenkin Street in Tel Aviv. The very same Shenkin who 15 years earlier was wandering in the dunes with Shlomo Aboulafia, where they met a group of people drawing lots on building plots for a new town and said, "Yalla, let's join in." The word Yalla was first heard by Shoshana Shimonovich in 1931 from the stevedores at the Jaffa port where she arrived from Vilnius. As a member of the underground, she was caught smuggling arms and was the first woman jailed at the British prison in Bethlehem. Her son, Shlomo Aboulafia, on the other hand, was a free spirit. He went abroad for the first time in 1964 and hasn't stopped since. When the Six-Day War broke out, he came back from San Francisco. When the Yom Kippur War began, he returned from Paris to the Suez Canal. But when the Lebanon War broke, he did not return from Brazil to take part in the fighting. Brazil was far in the future when in the War of Independence, the Egyptian army surrounded Kibbutz Nitzanim, the home of Meira Unikovsky, his future wife. When she was evacuated with the rest of the kibbutz children, her aunt, an Auschwitz survivor, insisted she take the family album. Perhaps that was the reason that Zvi Oppenheim documented his service as a patrolman in the 30s. He guarded Sedgera and manned roadblocks at the Tikva neighborhood. Roadblocks in the recent Intifada won't let Meira Unikovsky sleep at night. She gets up at 5 in the morning to picket the roadblocks with other women, mothers, and grandmothers. But back then, they didn't think of things like that, and the patrolman Zvi Oppenheim treated the railroad attack wounded and was on site when the oil pipeline was set aflame. When Saddam Hussein set aflame the Kuwaiti oil fields, Roy Oppenheim was discharged from the army. He remembers the day well. It was the day the radio aired a new song by Nirvana. Miriam Romano was a member of Tito's resistance in the forests of Yugoslavia and was captured by the fascist militia. She was a tough woman and didn't tell her interrogators anything. She even took her recipe for walnut cookies to the grave. Her granddaughter, Stella Altarat, inherited her stubbornness and refused to join the army. Salomon Altaratz loved novelties. In 1968, he bought the first TV set at Kidron Village and watched the first broadcast of Israeli TV, a military parade, of course. Amos Oppenheim wouldn't be satisfied just with parades. He fought in no less than 4 wars. The only peace he ever knew was the Peace Cruiser, where he served as a deckhand. And back to the wars. Peretz Unikovsky never forgot the trauma of the siege and surrender of Nitzanim. He hoped his great-grandson would live in a better world. She hoped her son would live in a better world. My son, Michael Shlomo Oppenheim, was born a year ago.